Hi my precious moons. Hope you enjoy this bonus chapter. The new series will be up soon. Well, I mean as soon as I write it, lol. Sorry if you cry. Not really though. Love you lots. Timeskip. 3rd year. Hinata, come over here for a second. Hinata left the practice and joined Yukai on the sidelines while the rest of the team continued. What is it, coach? I heard back from Washijo-san today about the training you want to do. Hinata's eyes widened, and he smiled excitedly. You did? Yeah, and it's good news. Hinata's smile grew, and Yukai led him further away from the court to talk to him. What are they talking about? Dunno. Hey, focus on practice. Yamaguchi slapped them upside the head and yelled out another drill for the team. There is a catch though. Hinata's excitement suddenly plummeted. He didn't like the sound of Yukai's words. What do you mean? What catch? You'll have to leave for training right after graduation. And stay for 2 years. It's a strict program, but a fantastic one. I'm surprised Washijo was able to secure you a spot. Hinata felt dread creep into his bones. Leave for training? Why would I? The program is in Brazil. Hinata's eyes almost popped out of his head, and his heart dropped to his stomach. Wow, what? Yukai gave him a sympathetic look and placed a hand on his shoulder. I know it's not ideal, but it's a really good opportunity. You should think about this really hard. Think about what's best for you, okay? Hinata nodded, but he wasn't paying attention anymore. His head was still spinning around the idea of leaving Japan and everything he ever knew behind. More importantly, he had no idea how he was going to break the news. But there was never any question. Thanks, coach. But I'm going. Yukai smiled proudly and pushed him back to the court. Now get to practicing. Nationals is just a week away. He quickly rejoined the practice, pretending that everything was fine, unaware that he was being seen through by the 3 people that knew him best. During the semi-final game against TsukiYama, it was the 3rd set, and TsukiYama was at game point. Score: 26-25. Alright guys, listen up. I trust every single one of you. I know we can do this. Yes, Captain. Even though they were strong and confident, they knew it was a very good chance that they wouldn't make it through this game. They had practiced and practiced for 3 years and had finally made it to the semi-finals, putting them in the top 3 teams in the nation. But they had given it their all in this game, and it still wasn't good enough. Kags. Kageyama turned to Hinata, already knowing exactly what he wanted. Just remember, if you can't get through, then go around. Hinata grinned, surprised that he didn't have to beg. Kageyama rolled his eyes. With me around, you're invincible, right? I'll always give you the last ball. Hinata's grin fell into a soft smile and he looked out upon the court. Set me one last time, Kageyama. Kageyama nodded, trying to hide his emotions, and got into place. The ball was served into Karasuno's court and Yamaguchi dug it perfectly, continuing the defensive captain tradition. Hinata and Tsukishima locked eyes, and the latter knew exactly what to do. Kageyama, quick. All the attention was turned to Tsukishima while Hinata used the width of the court, taking it in strides. Tsukishima. As soon as Hinata jumped, the ball was with him. While Uchiyama's blockers were focused on Tsukishima, Hinata hit it unguarded, putting all his emotions into it. Their Koheis watched in awe at the quartet's teamwork, something amazing that took years to perfect. Back in positions. It's not over yet. Sure enough, Uchiyama's libero dug Hinata's spike at the last second. Their setter sent it to their ace, A carbon copy of Sakusa himself. Let's get him. I'm with you. Tsukishima and Kageyama went up to block together, creating the legendary Karasuno wall. But the spiker, with his own quirks, got around them and hit the ball hard, sending it spinning towards Karasuno's first-year libero. With the weird spin and the angle, the ball was basically unplayable, and the game was over. The four of them immediately sunk to the ground, the loss of the game and their high school careers crushing. It's over. Yams. Tsukishima took Yamaguchi in his arms, holding him tightly. Kageyama and Hinata were laying on the floor, staring up at the ceiling and trying to catch their breath. Hey guys. Hinata? Thanks for playing with me. It was a lot of fun. With Hinata's words, the waterworks started. Yamaguchi was crying into Tsukishima's arms. Kageyama was letting the tears fall down his face freely. Tsukishima, although trying to hide it, was wiping his away quickly. God, stop bawling like babies. They all let smiles onto their somber faces, and soon enough the rest of the team was surrounding them, showering them with praise and love. The next day, while their time on the volleyball team was over, they still had a week until graduation. Hinata found himself in the gym the day after the tournament. It was empty, given the team was on a break, but it was where he felt most at home. He was going to miss it. Knew you would be in here. Hinata turned to see Kageyama standing at the door. I'm not ready to give it up. I don't think any of us are. Hinata sighed and laid down on the court under the net. Kageyama silently joined him. What are you going to do now? You already know the answer to that. I know. The Schweden Adlers are calling my name. Hinata grinned, never being more proud of his boyfriend than at this moment. I hope I get to watch some of your games. Kageyama sat up, his brows furrowed as he looked down at Hinata. What are you talking about? Why wouldn't you see all my games? Hinata? Hey guys, what's up? Seems we all had the same idea. Yamaguchi and Tsukishima walked in, relieving Hinata of spilling his secret. They joined them on the floor, crossing their legs underneath them and staring at Hinata, who was still laying on his back. Are you dead or? Just thinking. Don't hurt yourself. Yeah, he's not making any sense. Baka, I am too. The other three laughed as Hinata huffed and sat up to join them. I have to tell you guys something. And you're not going to like it. They froze, taken aback by the serious look on Hinata's face. What is it? Hinata took in a deep breath, hating that he had to say this. I got into a beach volleyball training program. Hinata, that's great. I knew you would. They all grinned, leaping forward to wrap their arms around Hinata in excitement. But why did you think we wouldn't like it? It's not like we're wishing for your downfall. Yeah, not all the time at least. Hinata focused on picking at his shoes, unable to meet their eyes. At his odd behavior, they quieted, knowing it went deeper than that. It's for 2 years. Okay. And then you'll go pro, right? That's been the plan since forever. Yeah, it has. But, Hinata looked up at them, his eyes showing every bit of emotion he was trying to hold back. It's in Brazil. Their eyes widened and they froze, not knowing what to say. Hinata gulped, his eyes welling. I leave after graduation. You leave. So you already accepted it? Hinata nodded, causing all of them to suck in a breath. The silence was deafening, the only sound coming from their pounding hearts. You're kidding, right? They all turned to Kageyama, who was staring at Hinata intensely. You're just screwing with us. Right? Kags. Hinata, tell me this is all just some sick joke. Tobio, please. Kajiyama stood up in a huff, his eyes welling. You promised you would never leave me. Hinata's eyes widened in disbelief. He stood up to try and comfort Kajiyama, but the taller boy moved away. I'm not leaving you, Kags. It's just for 2 years and then I'll be back. 2 years is a really long time. I agree with Kags. Tsuki. Tsukishima stood up as well, his face drawn in a frown. This should have been a group decision. You're springing this on us with only a week left before you leave. That's not fair. But Guys, come on. Cool it. Stay out of this, Yams. Stay out of it. I am just as much a part of this relationship as you are. But you're siding with Hinata. Of course I fucking am. If you can't remember, we already tried to make Hinata choose us over volleyball and that didn't end very well. Tsukishima went silent, though it was obvious that he didn't want to back down. That was when volleyball was here. When volleyball was home. Not in fucking Brazil. Hinata, who had been silently listening to them, taking it all in, shuffled to his bag that had been disregarded on the floor and stood at the door. Where are you going? I have a week left in Japan. I would rather spend that week with the 3 people I love the most, but if we're just going to argue the whole time, then I'll just spend my time packing. I'm going and that's final. The 3 of them stared at him silently, not knowing what else to say. This is my future, my career. I love you all so very much and I thought you would support me. They ducked their heads in shame, knowing he was right. Slowly, one by one, they grabbed their bags and joined him at the door. Let's go home. We can talk about it later. We are very happy for you, Hinata. And we love you just as much. I know. Yamaguchi smiled softly and draped an arm over Hinata's shoulder, leading him out of the gym. Tsukishima grabbed Kajiyama's hand and pulled him along, knowing he was still lost in thought. It was going to be a tough week. So why didn't you tell us sooner? Yamaguchi and Hinata were sitting in Kajiyama's living room while Tsukishima and Kajiyama were whipping up something in the kitchen. Hinata looked over at him and frowned. Coach told me a week ago. And I didn't want to distract anyone from nationals. That makes sense. Yamaguchi reached for Hinata's hand and linked their fingers together. I'm going to miss you. I know. I'll miss you too, Yams. He smiled and laid his head on Hinata's shoulder, the secret he had been wanting to tell pushed to the corners of his thoughts. He knew he had to tell them before Hinata left, but at this moment it seemed irrelevant. Yams, are you okay? Huh? Yeah. Why? You got quiet all of a sudden. Just thinking. No, he couldn't tell them. Not yet. I wonder what Kags is making. And Tsuki? Please, you know Tsuki isn't doing shit in that kitchen. Ha 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 ha. Let's go see then. They ran off to the kitchen to find exactly what they thought they would. Kajiyama was cooking and Tsukishima was sitting on the counter swinging his legs. Shocking. Tsuki. You've learned enough by now to at least help. Yeah. I just didn't want to. I'd rather him not mess up my masterpiece. Hinata sighed and saddled up next to Kajiyama to help. Seriously. How are you guys going to cope without me? They all went silent. Tsukishima stopped swinging his legs and Kajiyama stopped stirring. Yamaguchi cringed. I'd rather not. Yeah. Hinata took over stirring. His face beat red. Sorry. But you're going to go no matter what we say. So we might as well accept it. Hinata turned to Kajiyama with wide eyes. I'm happy for you both. I just wish you didn't have to leave. Hinata's lip quivered and he wrapped his arms around Kajiyama's waist, burying his head into his chest. Me too, Kags. Another set of arms wrapped around them and the scent of Tsukishima engulfed them. Just promise to come back. Only 2 years, right? Hinata giggled, reveling in the love he was given. Right. I promise. Coming in. Yamaguchi shoved his way into the hug, making them all laugh. This feels nice. They stayed holding each other for as long as time would allow. Hinata was definitely going to miss this. Is something burning? My onigiri. Kajiyama ripped himself away to check on his food, making the others laugh hysterically. I love you guys. We love you more. Yamaguchi smiled softly and kissed Hinata before propping himself up on the counter. So, there aren't going to be any more surprises, right? Huh? Not from me. What do you mean surprises? No secrets. Yamaguchi ducked his head, his heart pounding. I don't have any. Yams? They all slowly turned to Yamaguchi. Yams? What's going on? Tsukishima moved Yamaguchi's legs to stand between them, making him look up at him. What is it? Well, I didn't want to tell you guys right now. Because Hinata's news was really shocking and... Yams, you can tell us anything. Forget about me. Hinata's right. They all gathered around Yamaguchi, noticing how nervous he had gotten. I don't think I'm ready just yet. Yams. Tsukishima kissed his head, urging him to spill. Yamaguchi's face reddened and his heartbeat grew faster. I can't. Are you going to tell us before I leave? Yamaguchi closed his eyes, trying to focus on his breathing. After all, this was a lot deeper than Hinata's news. I didn't think there would be a time limit. I've been trying to find the courage for a year now. A whole year? He nodded, biting his bottom lip. I'm sorry. Yams, don't apologize. If it's that important, we can wait. Yeah. We'll be here whenever you're ready. You won't though. But I don't think I can wait another 2 years. They all went quiet, not knowing what else to say and not wanting to make Yamaguchi any more uncomfortable. Give me a day. But. I promise. I'll be ready in a day. Okay. Kags, you can't really expect him to be ready. Yams, I don't want to force you. If he says he'll be ready, then he will be. I trust him. Yamaguchi smiled softly, lifting his head just a little higher. Thanks, Kags. Kajiyama grinned and kissed him on the cheek before returning to his cooking. Tsukishima seemed hesitant, but eventually he too kissed Yams and went about his business. Want another one? Yamaguchi grinned, looking down at Hinata. Well, I don't have 3 boyfriends just for shits and giggles. Hinata giggled and pursed his lips, letting Yamaguchi lean down and kiss him soundly. Damn. I'm going to miss this. Kajiyama slapped him upside the head with a dish towel. Shut up and help me boke. Hinata went to Kajiyama's side and Tsukishima hopped up onto the counter next to Yamaguchi. Yamaguchi smiled at the scene before him, hoping nothing would change when he told them what he had been holding back for a long time now. Best mum ever. Hey Suga. Yams, hi. We haven't talked in forever. We talked like yesterday. And? Okay, well. I need advice. And you came to me? It's about the thing. Yamaguchi, you need to stop referring to it as a thing. It's valid. I know. It's just. I thought we were through this phase already. I thought you were confident. What happened? They know I'm hiding something. And since Hinata is leaving. Hinata is leaving? Since when? To where? Sorry. Continue. Since Hinata is leaving next week, I kinda feel like I'm on a time limit to tell them. Okay. But I thought you were ready? Me too. But when they asked, I froze. Interesting. Suga? How do you feel about yourself right now, Yams? Huh? What does that have to do with anything? Just answer the question. I dunno. Kinda shitty. Why? Because I couldn't tell them. And I don't know if they'll look at me the same. Of course they won't. Isn't that the point? You don't need them to see you as the Yams you are now. You need them to see you how you really are. But what if they don't like that, Yams? I am very confident that is not going to be the case. I've never seen four people so in love with each other the way you guys are. You'd have to do some crazy shit for them to not love you anymore. I guess you're right. Bitch, I'm always right. Just tell them. I know you're ready. And they deserve to know. Hell, you deserve for them to know. Thanks, Suga. For everything. I'll always be here for you, babe. And besides, I get to brag about being the first one to know. Right. I'll let you know how it goes. Okay. Good luck. Don't girl boss too close to the sun. What does that even mean? No questions. Go get tiger. I feel like one of your school children now. Stop stalling. Goodbye. Suga went offline. Thanks, I guess. The next day. They had all spent the night cuddled together on a few thrown together futons just like old times. Yamaguchi was the first one awake, his confidence returning in strides after his talk with Suga. He made coffee and even managed to make some pancakes since Hinata taught him a while ago. Now all he had to do was wait for the rest of them to get up. You can do this. It's not that scary. You're just a wuss. Degrading yourself this early? Shouldn't you wait for at least lunch time? Yamaguchi jumped at TsukiYama's voice, thinking he was alone. Tsuki. How many times do I have to tell you not to sneak up on me? You're just too jumpy. Yamaguchi rolled his eyes and sank into a seat at the kitchen table, slowly sipping his coffee. TsukiYama looked around at the setup Yamaguchi had created. You did all this? Yeah. Why? You don't want it? Of course I do. He scoffed and filled his plate with pancakes and poured himself a cup of coffee before sinking into a chair beside Yamaguchi. Is it edible? Tsuki. Just kidding. Sorta. TsukiYama laughed and nudged Yamaguchi, making him smile despite himself. What is all this? Oh, breakfast. I figured making breakfast was the least I could do. Because I'm going to be asking you to do a lot. Oh. Well, is it edible? PFFT. Jesus Christ. Kageyama and Hinata got their plates and coffee and joined the other two at the table. At this point, Yamaguchi was nervous again, but he was trying to focus on what Suga said. Hey Yams? Yeah? You know it hasn't been a full day yet. I know. But I'm ready. Are you sure? Positive. Yamaguchi took a deep breath as the others went quiet. I know it's going to be hard to adjust and I'm willing to give you time. But I'm just ready to finally live my life. What do you mean? I feel like I'm holding my breath. Are you? Boke, that's not what he means. I just mean that it's exhausting. Pretending to be this person when I'm not. The others slowly sat down their cups to focus entirely on Yamaguchi. What do you mean pretending? Yams, are you not happy? No. To be honest, I'm really not. Not like this. And telling us this will help? Nothing's going to be the same. But yes. TsukiYama silently reached for Yamaguchi's hand under the table, squeezing for support. Kageyama did the same on the other side and Hinata smiled at him softly. We're listening. Just like always. Okay, here goes. I'm non-binary. Yamaguchi let out a breath as if the weight of the world had been lifted off their shoulders. The others were silent, taking it in respectfully. Okay. Is that it? Are you fucking kidding me? I was so worked up for that. Well, it's not like it's shocking. Did you want us to be surprised? We can do another take. I hate you guys. No, you don't. They all smiled at Yamaguchi, confirming that they were just taking the piss. Seriously, Yams. We love you just the way you are. Were you really that scared to tell us? No. I guess I just wanted to be sure myself. Honestly, I could have told you this back in first year. Yeah, it's pretty obvious. Is that bad? God, Yams, no. We were just waiting for you to tell us. We wanted you to be comfortable. Are you? Yeah. I am. Yamaguchi smiled genuinely, their heart swelling for their lovers even more. What do you want us to change? It can be anything. Because you're valid and you deserve the world. What he said. Yamaguchi's cheeks reddened and they ducked their head to hide their blush. Well, I mean, I want to go by they them pronouns. Done. And I don't want to be your boyfriend. Partner? Can we all be partners? I'd like that. What about your name? I actually like my name. I think it matches me well. Okay then. Anything else? No, none that I can think of at the moment. Hey Yams? Yeah? I think you're the most beautiful person in the world. You took the words from my mouth. You thief. Yams is my person. Back off. Or what? Bark bark woof woof. Bestie, I can't defend you anymore. They all broke off into laughter, dispelling any lingering tension and bringing them that much closer. Yamaguchi smiled at them all, wondering how they got so lucky to have them. Incoming call from coach. Hello? Hey kid. Just wanted to call and give you the details. Oh. Okay. Your train to the airport leaves a couple hours after graduation. You'll be getting on a plane in Tokyo at 3 p.m. and you'll arrive in Rio, Brazil around 9 in the morning. Someone should be waiting for you to take you to your lodgings. Got all that? Yeah, I think so. I'll send the ticket info to you. Make sure you don't lose it. Better yet, give it to Yamaguchi or Tsukishima to hold on to before you leave. Hey. I can keep it safe. MHM. Well kid. I know you'll do great things. Coach. I'm sure of it. I can't wait for you to be back in Japan, but don't rush anything. This is an important step, K. Thanks Yukai. For everything. Don't mention it. I'll see you soon. Yeah, see you. Who was that? Hinata looked up to see Kajiyama walking into the living room. It was now the day before graduation, and they had spent every day together. It was Coach. He just wanted to give me what I needed for my trip. Oh, right. Hinata ducked his head, playing with his fingers on his lap. Even though he knew they weren't angry with him about his decision, he was almost certain that they were still sad. Kags. Can you come hold me? Kajiyama seemed surprised, but he eventually smiled and nodded. Of course, Hina. He jumped onto the couch and gathered Hinata up in his arms, holding him tightly. I want you to promise me something. I know it's going to be hard, but don't focus on me, okay? You've got a career to start as well, and I'll only be a distraction. It's impossible not to think about you. And don't pull away from Tsuki and Yams. What? You know what I mean. Without me here, it'll be easier for you to fold into yourself. Don't do that. They love you and they are actually going to be here for you. Why does this feel like a lecture? I just want you to be happy. I am. Right now. Kags. Kajiyama sighed and buried his head into Hinata's neck. Okay. I promise. And take care of Yams. They are going to need a lot of support for the near future. You don't have to tell me that. Don't tell me we're already getting sappy. Kajiyama and Hinata both turned to see Tsukishima and Yamaguchi walk into the room. They had been out to the market and hadn't expected to come home to a heart-to-heart. I was dragged into this. Shut up, Kags. Or it was so cute until you ruined it, Tsuki. TSK. Help me put away these groceries. Yes, sir. Stop saying that. PFFT, come on, Hina. Brace yourself, Yams. Wait, wah. Hinata jumped off the couch and landed on Yamaguchi's back, almost knocking them off balance. They caught Hinata though, and carried him piggyback style to the kitchen. Hey Tsuki. Don't even try it. No fun. Later that day, Yamaguchi and Kajiyama were out in the backyard passing a volleyball over the net to each other. After Daikai stole the last one, Kajiyama waited until he graduated to install a new one. It's been standing ever since. Meanwhile, Hinata and Tsukishima were putting out futons and blankets for the night. Do you and Yams need one blanket or two? Can we all sleep together tonight instead? Tsukishima furrowed his brow. You hate when we sleep together. No, I don't. Yes, you do. You say me and Kags move too much. Well, I just want to be close to you, so I changed my mind. Tsukishima sighed, a genuine smile on his face, and he pushed the futons together. Better? Yeah, thanks. Hey. He approached Hinata and cupped his face, leaning down to kiss him quickly. What's going on? You're not usually this clingy. I want to spend as much time with you guys as possible, but it still feels like it's going by too fast. We're still going to be here when you leave, you know. It might not be the same, but it's not like we're breaking up. I know. So stop acting like a child. Hey rude. Can't you be at least a little emotional about this? I am. But trust me, Hinata. Just because I don't show it doesn't mean I'm not feeling everything you are. Plus it was your decision. Kinda selfish to be so upset about it. I didn't mean that. I know. Are you going to be okay? Yeah. I am. You sure? I can buy a ticket and go with you. No, you have to stay. Good, I don't like planes. Tsukishima grinned and sat down on the futon, looking up at Hinata. But even so, why do I have to stay? Because someone has to be here for Kags and Yams. What do you mean? You know what I mean, Tsuki. I know I'm not a prime example either, but me and you, we kinda hold them down, you know? Not it's only going to be you. Yeah. Sorry. For leaving you. Tsukishima sighed and grabbed Hinata around the waist, pulling him down on his lap. Don't apologize. This is what you've wanted for ages. I'm happy for you. Are you really? You don't look it. I can't help my face. Hee. Just promise me that you won't get homesick and come running back before you even finish. You owe it to yourself to see this through. Why are you so good at this? Hinata. Geez, okay, I promise. Good. I love you. I love you too, Tsuki. Hey losers. Yams wants to play 2-on-2, so get your asses out here. Yes. Me and Tsuki are going to win. Impossible. My skills are to die for. You wish. Hinata and Tsukishima got up and quickly joined the others in the backyard to play volleyball just like old times, and probably the last time for a very long time. After graduation. It was hard to find each other after the ceremony due to all the celebrating students and parents, so Kajiyama found his way to the gym alone. Hinata knew where he was headed and followed him, walking into the gym to find Kajiyama serving balls. You know, this scene reminds me of first year. Hinata. I hated you so much back then. You were a major asshole. Hey. You were just as annoying. They stared at each other and burst out into laughter. Hinata discarded his jacket and stood on the other side of the net, smirking confidently at Kajiyama. I'm ready. Kajiyama smirked and served full power, and he wasn't surprised at all when Hinata dug it perfectly. Thanks for being my partner all these years, Kags. I couldn't have done it without you. Kajiyama's eyes welled up despite himself. You're the best partner I could have asked for. No one can replace you. Oh really? Not even a Shiwaka? He doesn't count. They smiled at each other and Kajiyama crossed the net, reaching out for Hinata's hand. Together they left the gym for the last time and walked back towards the crowd in search of their counterparts. Kags, Hina. Yamaguchi spotted them first, and they ran up to them, jumping on them excitedly. We did it. Hinata latched onto Yamaguchi, burying his head into their neck. I'll miss you, Yams. Hina, don't make me cry. I can't help it. You cry over everything anyways. The four of them migrated away from the crowd so they could be alone. Hinata pulled away from Yamaguchi and looked them in the eyes. You better take college by its balls, K. I was planning on it. And make better grades than Tsuki. Impossible. That's my goal. They all laughed at Tsukishima's sour expression until Hinata turned to them for real. Suddenly, the atmosphere around them grew sad. I have to go if I'm going to make my train in time. We'll go with you. Yeah, we planned on it. No. Stay and celebrate. You all deserve it. You do too. Hinata smiled sadly and wrapped his arms around all of them, letting them sink into him in sorrow. I love you. Always. 2 years. We can get through anything together, right? Right. Hinata pulled away, wiping his tears. Last kisses please. Me first. Yamaguchi leapt forward and kissed Hinata soundly, reveling in the feel of it to last them 2 years without it. Tsuki, kiss me. Yeah. Tsukishima leaned down and kissed him, trying to hold back the powerful emotions he was feeling. Kajiyama was next. He kissed Hinata's forehead, then both cheeks, and finally his lips, not even caring that tears were falling down his cheeks. Be safe. I love you. Text us before you get on the plane and after you land. Hinata pulled away from them all and looked them over one last time. It would be a very long time before he got to see and feel them like this. He wanted to savor it. I'll be home before you know it. Love you lots. He flashed a smile and turned away, refusing to look back because he knew it would break him. He couldn't see Kajiyama bury his head into Tsukishima's chest, and he refused to acknowledge how tearful Yamaguchi was. He just had to keep going. And so he did.